Now at 6, actor accused. Kevin Spacey heading to court in Nantucket. We're live with details of the allegations against him.
Cold and windy start to the week with some snow possible by tomorrow morning. When it arrives and how much to expect.
A mother and her child kidnapped from outside a New Hampshire mall.
Anything could happen out here and a lot of people wouldn't be aware.
The multi-state manhunt that ended with a Vermont man in custody.
We're looking at a national emergency because we have a national emergency. Just read the papers.
President Trump considering drastic action to build the border wall.
And the waiting game is over. The Patriots getting charged up about the next playoff opponent headed to Gillette.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
Good morning, everybody. It is 6 o'clock on the dot on your Monday morning as we take a live look across the city. You can see traffic there on the Zakim Bridge already as you head back to school and back to work as we start our work week this morning. Thanks for spending it here with us on the news station. I'm Chris Anderson.
And I'm Amaka Ubaka. It is definitely starting to feel like January, finally. When you step outside, you're going to be hit by all that wind.
Yeah, you'll run back in and grab that jacket if you happen to forget it. And snow even in the forecast?
Just a little bit of it as we get into tomorrow morning, but it doesn't take much to slow down a morning commute. Good morning, everyone. This morning commute, no snow. You'll need the sunglasses, but you'll also need the hat, the gloves, and the winter jacket. No question about that with temperatures now down into the teens and 20s. You factor in the wind, which has been consistent out of the northwest, 10 to 20 miles an hour. We're talking about wind chills starting off in the single digits this morning. In fact, feels like 0 in Worcester and only feels like 5 degrees right now in Boston. Temperatures this afternoon close to 30 degrees. We'll increase the cloud cover overnight tonight. We'll also break out a little bit of snow overnight tonight as a warm front works on through, but it's along and just to the north of these warm fronts that you do produce some snow, and you can clearly see that out across the Great Lakes. So that's what we contend with early tomorrow morning. How much to expect ahead in the forecast?
Well, look at this right now. North Station Tunnel is back open and ready for riders this morning. The tunnel serves as a direct connection between the North Station commuter rail and the Orange and Green Line stops. 7 News got an inside look at this new tunnel. There's the squeaky clean looking construction, right? It started back in November, forcing people to walk across the street and to the garden and to get to the commuter rail. So that's some good news for you this morning. And we hope that the good news translates all across your morning commute. Here's Elena Pinto with Fast Track Traffic.
Chris, I have some good news and some bad news. Good news is that the crash on the expressway did clear. Bad news is that we do have a lot more volume now because everybody was backed up just before the exit to Neponset Circle where it was at. So you'll still see a little bit of red leading up to where that crash was, but again, it did clear. One more problem now in Dedham. This crash on 128 northbound near the exit to Route 109, and overall volume is going up pretty much everywhere, but it's not too bad just yet. Your drive time is still okay, I would say, on the expressway right now. About 20-25 minutes, only 12 on the Pike, about 15 on 93. If you are taking the trains in, we do have a 10-minute delay on the Red Line.
Actor Kevin Spacey set to appear in a Nantucket courtroom later this morning. He's expected to be arraigned on a charge of indecent assault and battery stemming from an incident that is alleged to have happened on the island more than 2 years ago. Spacey denies the accusation that he groped an 18-year-old man at a bar back in 2016.
He's expected to enter a not guilty plea when he's in court today with his attorneys. And Dan Housley live this morning on Nantucket with more on what we're expecting to see happen here today. Dan, good morning.
Good morning, and this is the little courtroom in Nantucket where we expect to see Kevin Fowler. That's not an attempt to hide his name. It's an attempt to reveal what is his real name, not the Hollywood celebrity. And that's what this case is all about, bringing a charge no matter who the alleged victim or suspect really are. A flurry of activity Sunday outside of this courthouse in Nantucket, ahead of the anticipated appearance of actor Kevin Spacey, who will face a felony charge of indecent assault and battery. Spacey accused of groping the then 18-year-old son of former Boston TV anchor Heather Unruh.
To Kevin Spacey, I want to say this. Shame on you for what you did to my son.
Unruh came forward in 2017 to say that Spacey assaulted her son in the crowded bar of Nantucket's Club Car restaurant on a summer night the year before.
Spacey stuck his hand inside my son's pants and grabbed his genitals. This was completely unexpected.
According to court documents, the victim tried to shift away with his body and move Spacey's hands away with his hands, but Spacey kept reaching down his pants. But in a court hearing last month, we heard what could be a preview of Spacey's defense in a tape of the actor's lawyers getting a state police investigator to acknowledge the victim did not say he made any move to get away from Spacey.
According to it was very crowded that evening, so it was tough to move 2 to 3 feet.
He, instead of walking away or moving back or grabbing the wrist or slapping the hand, he indicated to you during that 3-minute time period that he was texting and Snapchatting.
That's correct.
Police apparently have the short Snapchatted video of some of the encounter, but the two sides dispute exactly what the video shows. Spacey has not commented publicly on the accusation, but he did post a video to YouTube in the persona of his House of Cards character Frank Underwood 2 weeks ago, in which he appeared to be cautioning the public to keep an open mind. Spacey was fired from the Netflix drama after sexual assault allegations from several men.
But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you? Did you?
Spacey did try hard to get out of this hearing. He wrote the judge complaining that all the amped-up publicity would have a negative effect on his case. The judge wouldn't have it, though. He said Spacey does have to appear just like anyone else. We're live on Nantucket. Dan Housley, 7 News Today in New England.
7 News will have live coverage of Kevin Spacey's court appearance today. The arraignment starts at 11 o'clock later this morning. We have some breaking news from overnight now. One person is hospitalized following a shooting in Mattapan. Police responded to the scene on Blue Hill Avenue. There's no word yet on the victim's condition. So far, no arrests have been made.
Now at 6, a man accused of kidnapping and assault behind bars this morning. Police tracking him down in Pennsylvania after a multi-state manhunt that started in New Hampshire. 7's Carrie Corrado is live at police headquarters in Manchester, New Hampshire with the details. Carrie.
Amaka, good morning. This kidnapping, it happened in broad daylight and it sparked a massive manhunt. Now, police say they eventually tracked down the suspect about a few miles outside of Philadelphia. Police capturing a wanted fugitive after a multi-state manhunt. It all started in Manchester, New Hampshire Saturday when, according to the FBI, 41-year-old Everett Simpson kidnapped a woman and her child at random from the Mall of New Hampshire.
I just saw a bunch of blue lights. The cop cars were just going by, and instantly they were just gone.
Witnesses who work nearby describe police searching the area hours later.
We work double, so we're in and out of our cars a lot. So if anything could happen out here, and a lot of people wouldn't be aware. So we got to be more careful now.
Police say Simpson, who had recently escaped a rehab facility in Vermont, forces victims to drive to White River Junction, where he sexually assaulted the woman in a hotel room. They say the victims were able to escape and call police after he left the room. State police and the FBI agents put out a be on the lookout for a stolen car. Simpson was eventually caught more than a day later near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Those at the Mall of New Hampshire say they're still shocked by what happened right nearby.
I think it's pretty tragic. I'm going to be very careful of my surroundings now.
And that suspect is facing kidnapping, car theft, and other charges. Live in Manchester, Carrie Corrado, 7 News, Today in New England.
Happening today, a vote that could send locked-out National Grid employees back to work. Unions representing nearly 1,300 gas workers are scheduled to vote on a tentative contract. The two sides will present the terms of their agreement, which could end this months-long lockout.
And now to the government shutdown. President Trump now threatening to declare a national emergency to bypass Congress and build his border wall while the House prepares a set of bills designed to open several agencies that remain shut down. 7's Matt Rascone is here in the newsroom with the latest on the stalemate. Matt?
Yeah, House Democrats want to start by opening the Treasury Department so people can receive their tax refunds. After more talks between the two sides yesterday, still no deal over border security, which means still no paycheck for hundreds of thousands of government workers and contractors.
Week 3 of the government shutdown, and the only wall going up is the barrier between Democrats and Republicans over border security.
There is only one cause of this shutdown, and that is President Trump.
We have to have border security. If we don't have border security, we're going to be crime-ridden, and it's going to get worse and worse.
Sunday talks ended with little progress. President Trump has suggested his definition of a wall is flexible. Still, Democrats see it as ineffective and not worth the price tag.
How are you going to spend this money? What are you going to do with it? He basically says, well, shut down the government until you agree on it. I think we'll have offers on the table when we find somebody that's not crazy to deal with.
The budget battle marks the first clash between the White House and the new Democrat-controlled House, and some Republicans are growing uneasy about the extended shutdown.
Certainly feel a sense of urgency to get people back to work and government reopened.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she plans to begin passing individual bills to reopen agencies in the coming days. The president says he may even attempt to bypass Congress and build the wall himself. But he's also made clear he's willing to keep the government closed for as long as it takes.
I may declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen over the next few days. This shutdown could end tomorrow, and it could also go on for a long time. It's really dependent on the Democrats.
President Trump says he expects serious talks over the next few days. Democratic senators say no non-shutdown related legislation should be taken up until the government is back open. In the newsroom, Matt Rascone, 7 News, Today New England.
Matt, thank you. We're also watching Wall Street as the week begins. Last week's stocks finished on a high note, the Dow closing up more than 700 points on Friday. That was a complete turnaround from the day before when it closed down more than 600 points.
Well, the waiting game is over now for the Patriots. We know who the opponent's going to be. The Pats charged up about that upcoming game at Gillette. They're the two signal callers who will be going head-to-head. Tom Brady posting this picture of he along with Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers on Instagram after the Chargers beat the Ravens to advance to the next round. And that head-to-head matchup heavily favors the Pats. Tom Brady, you ready for this? A perfect 7-0 when he takes on the Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers during their long storied careers. 7's Byron Barnett live at Gillette this morning with more on the showdown between these two veteran quarterbacks.
Well, that's right. You know, well, after a 2-week rest, thanks to a first-round bye, the Patriots should be rested and ready to go. And when the Chargers come to town, it'll be the Pats' biggest challenge yet after what's been an up-and-down season. Tom Brady posting this picture with L.A. Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers to Instagram, writing, "See you Sunday in Foxborough."
Is it special to go to New England against a Hall of Fame coach and arguably the best quarterback ever to play and get another shot at him? Heck yeah, it is. It is special.
The Pats showing up with the best home record in football this season at 8-0. The Chargers arrive with the best road record at 8-1 after advancing in Baltimore yesterday.
Well, I know at times it looked like we had gotten a nice little lead, but that team fought back. That team played hard. And, no, this is a tough place to play.
In Sunday's wildcard round, the Chargers defense faced a dual threat in Baltimore's quarterback Lamar Jackson. The Chargers made life tough on the rookie, though, intercepting him and forcing 4 Baltimore fumbles, punching their ticket to advance to Foxborough.
A lot of times you have to go through New England if you want to accomplish your goals. And, you know, we'll watch the tape on them. We'll get ready for those guys next week.
Phillip Rivers, the 15-year veteran, led the Chargers to the playoffs for the first time since 2013. Rivers has never made it all the way, making just 1 AFC championship appearance in his career. Now he comes to Foxborough seeking his first playoff victory against the Pats.
We have a chance. That's all we have is a chance, and we know we're going to need to play better offensively. And hopefully D can keep it rolling and see what happens next Sunday.
Now, Rivers and the Chargers flew back to L.A. where they will reset, and then they're going to turn around and fly right back here to the East Coast to face the Patriots. The Pats, meantime, haven't had to travel since December 16th, so they've definitely got the advantage there. That's the latest live from Gillette Stadium. I'm Byron Barnett, 7 News, Today in New England.
Byron's right. That's why that bye week comes in handy, man.
It does. And when you're playing at home where you're 8-0 this season and you got Patriots Nation filling the stands.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, there's much more ahead here on Today in New England. Police in New Hampshire are asking for the public's help finding the man in these pictures after they say that he robbed a convenience store in Manchester.
Later this morning, a loss of a fallen hero, a family with ties to link this Utah police officer killed to Massachusetts. We'll have the update coming up.
Cold and dry air kicking off this Monday morning, kicking off Tuesday morning. We'll track a little snow. How much to expect ahead in the forecast.
Much busier now out on the roadways, especially on Route 1 and the Expressway, plus some tracking problems on the tracks. Details in a bit.
Now Now at 6:30, mourning a fallen hero with a Massachusetts connection.
It's just a tragedy that things get to this point.
The family ties that link this fallen Utah police officer to the Commonwealth.
Cold and windy start to the week with some snow possible by tomorrow morning. When it arrives and how much to expect.
Police in New Hampshire searching for a robber on the run. What they say the man in these pictures did to a convenience store clerk.
For me, running for office is an act of optimism.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren back home after an early visit to a key campaign state.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
All right, it's 6:30 on your Monday morning. We're taking a live look outside. You see the sun starting to rise up behind all those buildings. If you're headed outside this morning, you're definitely going to want to bundle up out there because it is very chilly. Thanks for being with us. I'm Amaka Ubaka.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Anderson. Looks like the sun almost is thinking twice about coming out this morning.
Right?
Probably like, oh, it's a little cold. I may want to set sooner. It's cold out there.
It sounds like just give me a little extra time, right? It is a Monday morning. We need to get back to school, back to work. That sunshine needs to get back to work today, too, to help warm us up. Windy night last night. Check out some of the gusts, 40 to 50 miles an hour across the area, including Cambridge, 51-mile-per-hour gust in the evening. In the wake of that strong wind, we do have the cold air that's now back in place. Temperature of 13 in Worcester, 20 in Boston. And you factor in these winds, which are sustained 10 to 18 miles an hour. And we've driven the wind chills down into the single digits. So this is the cold start. This is what you dress for. A little bit of a sting in the air, which we do occasionally expect here in January across southern New England. So hats and gloves at the bus stop this morning, whether they're heading off to work or heading off to school. Thinking by the ride home from school mid-afternoon, temperatures running close to 30 degrees. There is a warm front to the west of us. It's actually producing snow along it and out ahead of it. That's going to work on in tomorrow morning before transitioning over to a few rain showers by the afternoon. Coating to a couple inches. More on that forecast and what to expect over the next 7 days ahead.
All right, time now for fast track traffic on your Monday morning. Elena, I think you're going to want to let your car warm up a little bit this morning.
Oh, yeah. Started early for sure. It's a cold one out there. We're currently hovering over the pike. We're headed west to find a crash in Natick, actually. And this crash is in the eastbound lane. It doesn't look too bad here. We're in, I would say, the weston area, almost to Natick. But you can see the delay, a lot of red leading up to where that crash is near the Natick Service Plaza. Overall, we're fine. We do have a lot of volume in the normal spots on the expressway. 93 getting there too. 95 to 128 getting busier as well. One problem southbound on the expressway, not causing a problem. Your drive time northbound will be about 35 minutes. 12 on the pike eastbound after 128, 35 on 93. If you are taking the trains, we do have a problem. The MBTA tweeting out that all Providence line trains will originate and terminate at Providence Station today due to a vehicle on the right-of-way near Wickford Junction. So plan accordingly. If you are taking the T, everything's on time.
And now to the day's top stories on your Monday morning. Actor Kevin Spacey is expected in court today in Nantucket. He's set to be arraigned on indecent assault charges. The Oscar winner has been accused of groping the son of former Boston TV anchor Heather Unruh at a restaurant back in 2016. Last week, a judge denied Spacey's request to not attend his arraignment. Spacey says that he will plead not guilty. And the man accused of kidnapping a woman and her child from the Mall of New Hampshire has been captured. Police say 41-year-old Everett Simpson was arrested after a high-speed chase in Pennsylvania. The FBI says that he forced the woman and her child into his car on Saturday and then drove to Vermont, where he sexually assaulted the woman. She and the child were able to escape and contact authorities. And the government shutdown stalemate continues. We're now entering day 17, and President Trump is not backing down on his demand for his long-promised border wall. A source says the president might tap military funding for wall construction. The president says that he expects very serious talks on the issue over the next few days.
On 7 News Now, we're learning more about that Utah police officer who was shot and killed in the line of duty. Joseph Shinners is a native of Massachusetts, and he comes from the family that was dedicated to public service. 7's Matt Rascone following these developments and joins us now with how this man is being remembered. Matt.
Yeah, Chris, Officer Shinners' father is a retired Everett fire captain. His brothers are in law enforcement. This morning, the first responder community is mourning his loss.
Remembering a fallen hero from Massachusetts. Authorities say 29-year-old Joseph Shinners was working as a Provo, Utah police officer when he was shot and killed. Shinners comes from a family of first responders. His father is a retired Everett fire captain, and his two brothers are police officers. One is currently serving the Commonwealth.
We tend to become one family, and their families come by when you're working on duty with them, so you have the pleasure of seeing these children grow up and become great men and women themselves, and it's always a pleasure to see that, but it's always a tragedy, you know, when things like this happen to those kids.
The Everett Firefighters Union posted this message on social media. We have suffered a terrible tragedy within our fire family. Provo police officer Joseph Shinners, the son of our retired Everett fire captain John Shinners, was tragically killed in the line of duty last night as he attempted to arrest a wanted fugitive. We are extremely saddened by this difficult news, and our thoughts and prayers are with the Shinners family, as well as the Provo Police Department during this very difficult time.
To start 2019 off like this, as the chief stated, with such a guy who's so well respected, so liked, and his boys and his whole family are just great people who serve the community.
The Provo police chief describes Officer Shinners as a husband and father and the very best the police department had.
Joe Shinners was intelligent, he was honorable, he was hardworking. He was decent in every single way, and he exemplified the nobility of policing.
For fellow first responders close to the Shinners family, the tragedy hits home.
We always hope to never have this happen to any member of our family, let alone a member of the department. So it's just a tragedy that things get to this point.
Officer Shinners has since been promoted to Master Officer. In the news in the control room, Matt Resco on 7 News, Today New England.
Also on 7, a tense standoff leading to an arrest of a suspect outside of a Salem, New Hampshire motel. Investigators say the 30-year-old man had stolen a car in Florida. Police called in a SWAT team when they say the suspect refused to come out of his room. He was eventually arrested. The man has been charged with being a fugitive from justice. And a store clerk in New Hampshire says he was robbed, and now police are searching for a suspect. Manchester police are asking for the public's help identifying the man that you see right here on your screen. Store surveillance video capturing these pictures during the apparent robbery. So the clerk told police that the suspect entered the store demanding cash while threatening him with a gun and a knife. The incident is currently under investigation. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to contact police.
Bay Staters offering a helping hand to a fire victim in Fall River, and donations have been pouring in for all of the victims of the Four Winds apartment complex fire. At least 80 people lost everything they had in that New Year's Day fire. A Red Cross resource center has been set up at City Hall for those victims. Volunteers say they're hoping to help them piece back together their lives.
Everybody coming together just so that we can offer, give the residents that went through the fire, give them an idea of what's available to them. Hearing from them that they're getting the things that they need. That relationship that we have with those families continues until those families say, nope, we're good. I think I'm all set. We're on our path. We're up on our feet.
The apartment building had to be knocked down. 2 people died when the car that they were in crashed through the building, hitting the natural gas line.
And we're following more news today. Police have made an arrest in connection with the shooting death of a second grader in Texas. Officials say that 20-year-old Eric Black Jr. admitted to driving the car when another person opened fire. The suspect appearing in court early Sunday morning. Officials have not yet identified the passenger. Black is being charged with capital murder. 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes was shot and killed while riding in the car with her family on December 30th. Her father says that this arrest is a step towards healing.
I feel some relief in this because now my baby has got justice, and now we can properly put her to rest without having to put her to rest and be still on a manhunt looking for suspects, whatever it may be.
So friends and family will gather tomorrow to remember Jasmine. Her funeral will begin at noon.
White House officials addressing the crisis in Syria during a trip to Israel over the weekend. National Security Advisor John Bolton said the United States won't withdraw troops from Syria until ISIS is destroyed. Last month, President Trump said he would like to withdraw all troops from Syria and declare that ISIS had been defeated. U.S.-backed forces in Syria say that they have captured 2 Americans who are accused of fighting for ISIS. One of them is from Texas. They were reportedly captured in a group that contained ISIS fighters from Ireland and Pakistan. The Pentagon says the incident is under investigation. President Trump appears ready for a second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The president telling reporters over the weekend that the relationship between the U.S. and North Korea has never been better.
When I came here, this country was headed to war with North Korea, and now we have a very good dialogue going. Very good. We have with North Korea, we have a very good dialogue. I'm going to not go any further than that. I'm just going to say it's very special.
The Trump administration is reportedly scouting locations for a second summit for the two leaders.
And Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren hitting the road over the weekend, finishing up a multi-city tour in Iowa. Senator Warren is the first 2020 Democratic presidential hopeful to visit Iowa this year. She ended her tour on Sunday by meeting with other female leaders in the state to discuss women in politics. Senator Warren opening up about her motivation behind her potential run for office.
A woman had lost in the cycle before, and it was almost as if folks were saying, hey, we tried that. It didn't work. So come back in a generation or two, women, and we'll see if we can, if we can try this again. But they said they won't do it. And of course, you can imagine how that made me feel. And that was, I'm in.
So the senator's tour comes days after announcing her exploratory committee for a presidential campaign. And former Vice President Joe Biden will reportedly decide soon whether he will run in 2020. The 76-year-old ran twice before. People close to Biden reportedly say that he is leaning toward another run and that he thinks he is the Democrats' best chance to beat President Trump in 2020.
There's so much more news still ahead here on the news station, including no pooling around for a homeowner in Florida, how he raced in to help the people that were trapped in this car after it crashed into the pool.
And why police in Somerset are calling a 9-year-old a hero.
Then all new at 7, some good Samaritans in the right place at the right time after a car caught on fire on a New Hampshire highway. The precious cargo they helped get out to safety.
And people in California dealing with another natural disaster, parts of the state digging out after some serious mudslides.
And a Pennsylvania town spreading it pretty thick. These sculptures they've created entirely out of butter. Wow.